Yeah, we good. We good. We good. We good. You know, we about to have a little nightcap smoke session before we go to bed, man. A little wisdom. Got a little nippy out here in AZ. Put our membership coats on. Our tribe coats. Got our logo on the back. Our temple and school on the back. You know what I mean? But everything picking back up. Our third annual meet and greet is about to be amazing in Arizona in January. I want to give gratitude. I had a lot of people purchase books from us today on our company page, mypdfbooks.com. That's books with the Z. A lot of books that I was referencing on earlier today's teaching, I have available. And a lot of books that's not on our company page, I have them all on my database. And I just put them up. I usually add new books once or twice a month, just depending on how the spirit feels. But a lot of people today went on our company page and purchased Exhumed of the Nation. You can download it on your tablet, go to Office Max and Staples, and have them binded and printed. Keep our Moore's dollars circulating with Moore's. That's going to do something with our science. But I like to talk about that supreme wisdom and that supreme hika and understanding math and mathematics. A lot of times we break down the numerology based on the fez, and I tell every Moor, do you know what this fez represents? Symbology represents a lot of things. When you take this fez and turn it inside out, it represents the Liberty Bell. It represents the gong. It's a lot of historicalness in who we are when it's done the righteous way. And everybody know it. Every European, everyone, they wear the fez in clandestine. So there's nothing new under the sun. And you must have someone that's initiated and illuminated and consecrated to be able to bring the teachings back and teach from no biasness. I don't care what you call yourself. I know who I am. That's all that matters to me. I know what this Kemetic science consists of. No one's not going to tell me no science came from no European or no Negro. This Illuminati science that we talk about, we are the illuminated ones. We are the enlightened ones. We are the aha moment ones. And the only ones that this academia and education is Negroes. Period. We are the holy books. Even when you see that so-called Eye of Horus, I tell people, that's 9. I break all this mathematical science down. Even Maya, even in the judgment, is all scientific mathematical equations. And you can't be a dummy. How are you going to circle your square and you don't even know how to use mathematical equation? You don't know that the circle and the square both have 360 degrees of parameter. I mean, of degrees, that's different parameter. I mean, how are you going to measure things? How are you going to do things righteously and you don't even know the historicalness of this fez and you're afraid to wear it? And you let these Negroes that call themselves some more sovereign citizens give a taste in your mouth of historical things. We're not going to let that happen. And I'm not. I wear my fez with pride everywhere I go, as a dignitary, as an official. And I want that to be known. So give me a second. Let me grab something real fast. Let's see if I can grab something for y'all. And like I told Morris, man, I have a whole library. All you have to do is be willing to learn and be guided. Before I get into the teachings, I like to always show things to show you where our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn and we think somebody else's Kool-Aid is better than our own, per se. So as I told people a story a while ago when Amazon to take our literature and people don't know and try to sell it for high amounts of dollars. And I told you, an Empress got hustled. She went on Amazon and bought this Marcus Garvey letter for $3,600, and all she paid for is this frame. And then one of the Empresses jumped in her inbox and was like, "Do you know She Goodman Bay? Well, all the stuff that you buying off Amazon, this man has them. He a real educator. You just bought an expensive copy of something that you should have just talked to that man and got it." But that's what we do. We want to pay a lot for something and then think it's something. And I have everything. All these pictures are just pictures in a frame. My mother is an artist. We can put them in frames for you. That letter that she paid that Amazon charged $3,600 for, gone, and then it's $140 for shipping. And then they say only one left in stock. Yeah, right. Google it right now. Here go the letter right here. Here go the Marcus Garvey letter right here. I got Marcus Garvey letters. I got Du Bois letters. I got, man, so many letters. You know, from scholarship and academia, where people just be getting hustled. And nobody's not going to have anything that an educator and a scholar don't have. It's impossible. It's impossible. Anything that a person to talk on Amazon, a book or anything, I have it in my library. Where you think they got books from? If Amazon got anything or any bookstores, I have them. Every book. But I want to show y'all something. We talk about Angelo Solomon, the first Moorish Mason. But I want to see if I can find something real fast. I don't know if I got it in here. I may and I may not. But since I'm pulling out some things, I thought it'd be relevant if I can find it. If not, I'm gonna just, let's see. I did it. Let me put these papers right here, because that stuff will fly all out of them everywhere. Let's see. I saw it. I saw it here somewhere, y'all. I was just looking at it. 1 second, y'all. Here we go. Okay. And I shared this plenty times. And we're going to go to the supreme mathematics, and I'm going to show you how we circle the square. Very simple. You should want to be under true teachings. We got to stop letting idiots put on fez and call themselves some teachers, some sheiks. And I call them court jesters. This fez don't make you wise. The feds don't make you wise. Receiving a degree. When I talk about the graduation cap, the feds, when I talk about the hex alpha, the dual trying is the geometric representation of the Moabite, the Moorish fez. Moorish women have given a crown of knowledge to her sons within a span of 9 months in the most illuminated school of the universe, which is the woman's womb. And the fez symbolizes her womb. Think about it. The fez is the ancient and modern national headdress of the Moabite, the Moors. The fez is a brimless headdress, most commonly produced in scarlet red with an ebony black tassel. The red fez is matched with the red field displayed in the Moorish national red flag. The fez is also produced in black, white, and other colors. Variations is also produced in other colors, indicating other meanings, social orders, and positions. The black fez is the highest degree. It's worn by the mufti or the Mohammedan judges. So when you see some goofy ass Negro, and I'm saying it just like that, on YouTube, talk about I'm some sovereign citizen with a black fez on. No, he ain't. He a nigga with a fez on. He a goofy ass Moorish national. He not under no science. He went and bought the fucking fez on Amazon or the Masonic store and put that bitch on. And he operating totally out of order. That's why you don't see them Negroes with a fez on no more. They get their shit stepped on. It's a dunce hat to them. I'm telling you, because they don't embody nothing under that fez. None of them. The Moorish united front towards Islam, enforcement and security. The one who wears it symbolizes that he or she knows law in full, None of these Negroes know law in full. They playing a game with you. All Black Law Dictionary shit, them are law terms. These Negroes don't know traffic law, nothing. They talking a whole bunch of old ass terms. And is able to defend it. None of these Negroes can defend it because they all be guilty. Including knowledge of martial arts. How many of them know defense martial arts? We study Wing Chun, sticky hands. Defense physically and spiritually. Physically and spiritually. Linking to the martial arts degrees of the black belt. Just like tomorrow when I work out, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna put on, I have my uniforms I don't even wear. Even when I got higher rank and black belts and different gulps, I went back down to the white belt because I wanted to look the same. So when anybody see me and see me with anybody else, I look just like everybody else. The fez is worn as a symbol of the womb. The top of it has a nipple shape that has symbol of the navel. You see that navel? That umbilical cord sticking out, that navel? I'll get my other one and show you a full demonstration later. The strands of the tassel are 360 degrees, as in 360 degrees of knowledge. You see my tassel ain't pinned down. My knowledge flows freely. It ain't pinned down like the Masons is in those so-called secret societies. Everything with me is sacred. It's not secret. You must be initiated. Why wouldn't you want to be? You got to tell me why wouldn't you want to be initiated to true science and true wisdom? Mind adapt by a scholar, by an educator that look just like you, that look like your son. Come on, man. Think about it. Properly, the free-flowing tassel is indicative of one who is born of the womb, endowed with and aspiring to be beyond 360 degrees of knowledge. To be beyond 360 degrees of knowledge. I think I brought up my Freeman L chart. Is that under your bed? Will you grab that for me when you get a chance? Yeah. And I'm going to close with that. We navigate upon the earth, and our potential is not limited, not pinned down or kept secret. However, it's sacred. And that's what I'm doing, giving the sacred wisdom. If the Europeans sit and listen to me for hours and give donations and give charitably, why not you? See? I told y'all years ago, I'm going to still be here while the rest of these Moors go to jail. These ex-military, low-ranked people that's mad at the world. Can you see those 4 sets of breathing holes? Probably can't see it on my black face. I have to get my other colors. But I'll finish explaining. The 4 sets of holes are equal to the number of the woman or the woman. When I always tell you that the woman is Mayat, the garden that produces food and life, we got to understand that. The 4 sets of air holes on the top of our fez are equal to the number of the woman, 9, and added to 13, the number of times a woman cycle per year, which is in tune with the cycle of the moon. If any of my emperors on here, I'm speaking science. That's what I tell my nobles, this science. How can an empress not like the science when we talking about you? Right? Think about it. Just think about that for a little second, y'all. Now listen to this. The fez, yes, it's red or indigo, black tassel. Yes, it's the headdress of the ancient ones. Now, even when I show pictures of Empress Tunic, Gostin Bay, and our own people try to, when I shared on ISIS shared it on our text stream, the picture of Empress Gostin Bay, and then you see Negro try to put under it some sovereign movement. Man, that sovereign movement, I ain't gonna use it yet, but that sovereign movement mess wasn't even heard of. They always try to discredit the science with this modern Negro stuff. But I'm here to tell you, that ain't what we teach. Period. Everybody should know that. The fez is the headdress of the ancient ones. The Moabite, the Moors, also spelled myrrh. Do y'all know the book, The Ancient Ones, by Empress Gostin Bey, Tunic Bay? I got the book for y'all. I got it in there. You can get it from me. The body of the fez symbolizes the womb of the cosmos, and the woman, the womb, the 1-inch finale in the middle, which extends out on the top of my fez here, out the center of the fez is the number 1 sticking out, and the 9th letter of the phonetic Moorish alphabet, the I, also symbolizes the navel that sticks out of my fez. It symbolizes that navel, that I, family. I hope you're still with me, Morris. Now this cord extended from the eye symbolizes the universal umbilical cord of universal life and represents the oneness of all life. That right there, when I say we bounded by cords, that's the oneness of all life. It represents the tie to the source of humanity. See, when Moors first started off, they always talk about the Zodiacus. People, I told you, they always try to reinvent themselves when they be scheming. They try to draw you in. But see, I don't have to reinvent myself. The sun gonna shine like a motherfucker. Period. The circular round ball of the tassel represents the mundane circle of Earth. The cord wrapped around this mundane ball. Y'all see that? It's like a cord wrapped around it to keep it together. About the tassel strands hold the form of the circle. It represents the unity of life through the zodiac constitution of humanity. You see what I'm saying? This is all righteousness. It also represents the cycle and the that circular nature of life. Got a bug in my eye. Can you give me some tissue? Damn, bugs be flying out here. Little gnats. But yep. It's that reciprocal nature of life. The strands of the tassel. It represents the 360 degrees of the zodiac, family. We talking science. When your kid know this and understand the significance of who they are, that's the power of learning. Thank you, sis. That's the highest power of learning. Now, the highest law, authority, in civilization, the zodiac crown of light, the national headdress of the mothers and fathers of the human family, founders of civilization, and masters of the cosmos. This science, the third, 33, and 360 degree master scientists, the stars of the East, aka the Eastern Stars. This is a part of the hidden truth, which has been buried in the dark corners of the North Gate. See? Let me get some tea. Let me get some tea. Thank you. The fez symbolize the eternal zodiac, and it's also called a tarbouche, a tiara. You know that beer they call Corona Soul? Also called that. And other names, which describes its royal status, family. Masons adopted the fez. Hitler Regiment adopted the fez. Hell, they studied the Quran. Wearing the fez regarded Masons of clandestine order. Look up what clandestine means when I say words you may not understand or know. You must look them up to know. right? You know, the Fez is also the name of the old Moorish capital city, which is located in northern or northeast Morocco. Moroccan and Moors are one and the same pedigree and people. American is a dialectical corruption of the name Al-Moroccan, which means descendant or descendants of Morocco. The lack of consciousness of law and history on the part of any so-called Negro, Black, or so-called Mason concerning the ancient history of the Americas has stagnated and retarded their ability to see through the veil of their own hoodwinking. Is the Fez a city in Europe? No. Is the Fez the national headdress of the Europeans? Or is the Fez the national headdress of Moors? It's no secret. We gotta accept our connection. You say Ruth the Moabitess and Tamar, all that in the biblical scriptures, right? And you say you're from the genealogy of Yahshua the Messiah, and we're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood, pertaining to our teachings. That's what you're saying. You say you're under Hebrew diet, right? We say we're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. So what are Moors arguing about all day? Because I can wait. Brother set tripping. Here you go. Brothers are set tripping. So let's deal with a little bit more science. Masonry is a system of disciplined learning. Moor is the pedigree and nationality of the direct descendants of the founders of civilization. The high science, the culture, the Gnosticism, the cosmology, the alchemy, geometry, algebra, numerology, astrology, architecture, mathematics, philosophies, all a science from which Masonry draws its wealth of knowledge. So why wouldn't you want to be illuminated? Why wouldn't you want your kid to learn these sciences at an early age? For they can be productive in this lifespan. You don't want your kid to aspire to be, and I'm not saying whatever job you have to maintain, but we just not no common people that say, oh, we just gonna work common labor all our life and not use our brain and don't let your brain do the work. The glory of a young man is his strength, but the wisdom of an older man is the gray on his hair and his beard. That means you're supposed to know something and do something with this brain. That's why I tell everybody you put so much on your kids, but what you gonna do? Talk about the children of the future. No, we the future for the children. They need to see us doing something. It's all the sciences. Culture, literary, factually, which was forth underground and veiled in allegorical stories. If the Bible written in parable, analogy, symbology, then you must know the Gnostics of the scriptures. The mysticism, the signs and the symbols. That's why when I say the word clandestine is an adjective, meaning secret, concealed, sly, underhanded, superstitious, accomplished by improper means or by self. Want something that you're not, or trying to replace something as a clandestine plan or act, seeking a benefit with fair, just or proper compensation, participation, or input. Synonyms of the word clandestine include hidden, furtive, covert. Clandestine is derived from the old Moabite Moorish Latin word clandestinus. Come on, man. Yeah. And a lot of people have been mistaken that, no disrespect again, Europeans or Trelodites, Albions, whatever you want to call them. That's why I let people, if a European Albion said they grew up in a cave and they grew up with dinosaurs and they had no running water, why am I arguing with that? Why? All you got to do is read Stolen Legacy. If you don't have it, you can get it from me. We ain't got to give nobody else the credit who wear the fez in secret. Even our brothers that's Mason, they wear the fez in secret. who are the originators of the fez? And Europeans are aware of the meaning and the purpose of the fez. It's the crown worn by the Moorish nation, which represents the matriarch. The Europeans have absurd and stolen the crown and birthrights, as well as they have utilized the science and high culture, embodied and represented in wearing this fez, which is the science of the universe, the workings of nature, and natural order. This is the one reason why our Prophet Noble Drew Ali said they live off the virtues in that context. When they use the context of vampires per se, in that context of sucking light, the sun, and the miseducation had led us to misgivings and to a dark and ignorant place of not knowing. How you walking around in the dark just bumping into shit. And we suffer from a lack of knowledge. And then we argue against each other as to the orders of many things, including the fez. Just like I saw a Negro trying to debunk John Henry Clark. And I said, man, you don't even know who Sheikh Anta Diop is? So brothers just be getting a little tickle or something because they watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos and they did no fucking work. Sad. Many think the fez belongs to the Turks without knowing that the original Turks are the Moors of the Ottoman Empire. I showed people that in the Library of Congress. All my students got the history. It's no secret. The Ottoman Empire being active into the World Wars. When I showed y'all the book earlier, and I was talking about the War of Ferdinand and Isabella, remember I was telling them that? If any of these Moors that think they so smart got the War of Ferdinand and Isabella that sit in the library shelves everywhere, they'll shut up. But we don't. I say history only begins with what was written. So how do we know what's valid? And we wasn't even there. That's why I said people crazy. You got to do the research. I done read and studied and have too many books to believe anything in the book. The Ottoman Empire being active into the World Wars, which coincides with the 40s where COINTELPRO charged Moors of the Moorish Science Temple, claiming they were in cahoots with Japan against the United States. And then you got all these Moors going to China with all this stuff. But I'm telling you, it's all a setup. But y'all gonna see. Others think the fez was originated and belongs to the pale Arabs of today. And when I show you the European, Bertram Thomas, even other ones, Vladimir Dale's dictionary, Moor means a Westerner, and it tells you what the ARAP consists of, all scholarship, without knowing the original Arabs are Moors, and that some sold each other out into slavery, even while wearing the fez, as they do today, or attempt to do today. How can it be that ironic and a nigga will kill somebody over a color, or over a rap song, or over a girl? So come on, stop playing. The feds didn't do it. You did it from fear or ignorance, or both. And this is one of the reasons our prophet said, be careful, Moors, some of your own will put you back into slavery. And I'm going to show y'all pictures of European Albions, Trelodite, whatever you want to call them, who were the feds behind closed doors, clandestine and secret societies, wherein they perform rituals, take oath to demigods, right? They work to keep the light of truth regarding the North Gate, North America, Northwest Maxima, Northwest Africa, closed to the masses, even unto the mothers and fathers of civilization, who is, in fact, taught the so-called European and Albion Trelodite and brought them out of darkness ages to the European Renaissance. We never had a dark age. We always had golden ages. When I talk about dispensations in history, you have to know scholarship. If not, you just talking. They taught the Masonic orders, the Ma and the Son, the Mason. When I tell you, ain't no such thing as no widow son. When brothers be wearing in memory of Haram Abith and don't know nothing what they represent. The science of the universe, the sacred lessons of life and nature, in an effort to civilize them and bring them into culturalized society. The Europeans later created clandestine orders to keep the teachings amongst themselves. I'm telling you, when you're initiated and you know it, the European to tell you that he or she is a son of Muslim, and the European is not the joke of masonry, the Negro is. I'm telling you what I know. The European later created clandestine orders to keep the teachings amongst themselves. What we especially want to show in these photos are these Albions Europeans, the so-called important people wearing the fez. Written atop them are Islam, El Bay, Muslim, and Morocco, to show they are, in fact, aware of Morocco, the empire, and the subordinate kingdom. They are aware and practice Islam, and they know the true meaning of Muslim, and they are aware of the five noble titles, El, Bay, Day, Ali, and Al. Just like when I talk about House during Revolution 75, read that. The titles were transferred and renamed as the five civilized tribes of accepted during the so-called Indian agreements. However, many are aware now that these is not India, or this is not India. The people were and are indigenous. Written on the top of this fez, the first one I'm gonna show you is Islam. Written on the top of this other one fez is Muslim. Then I can show you all the presidents that had the fez on that you ain't never seen. Written on the fez is El Bay. Written on this other European fez is Morocco. I hope you can see that with your own eyes. Now, if you can't see that, then what? Then what you looking at? If you can't see that with your own eyes, then what you looking at? So don't get mad. These brothers out here playing. You're dealing with the wrong class of Moors, especially these goofies that have been in the military, low-rank military people that's out here playing G.I. Joe. The world knows exactly who we are and are waiting for us to awaken. That's why you can't be afraid of no goddamn ghost. I'm a fucking ghostbuster. Shit. I am the enlightened one. I am the Lucifer. I am the morning star. I am the Baphomet, written Kabbalistically. Temp, Hope, Abs, Abba. I am alchemy, the cold Volta. I don't know what you're scared of. In secret, your existence is ritualized by those who sit in the seats of power, who have adopted our information and down your noble titles, as indicated in the photos that I just showed. It's no mystery. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's what it is. When I talk about all the signs and symbols, when you see the crescent and the star, when you see the so-called pyramid with the capstone, when you see the compass and the square, when you see the pentagram with the north at the top, the south at the bottom, with the G and the 7 in the middle, when you see the so-called circle with a line down the middle, a line in the middle of it, north, the top, south, west, east, 33, 333, 333, 333, 333, 90, 90, 90, 90. I hope you follow me. So that's Islam. The I from the creator of the universe representing mother and child. From hence we all came. Self. Each one of us is a trinity. This being the symbol of civilization. The L is the law. The length, the angle, and the width of the cosmic energies that marked us. The A, the M, the joining of two trinities, male and female. There we go with that Baphomet, that Kabbalistically. Female principles. Every animal figure is nothing but a pious hieroglyph. And the female principles, the Truan, which creates another I am, which creates another I am. The M, the master, this being the glyph for the planet Earth of which we are on, and aspire to be masters, navigators upon this earth plane. Even the white feds with the gold tassel, when I be telling my empress they some Eastern stars. And I say, yes, you are the star of the East, but you don't know the Eastern stars are the daughters of American Revolution. Our brothers are subjugated and our empresses are too. Research the DAR and the Eastern Stars order. When I tell my empresses, you're not an Eastern star, but you are a star of the East. Just like the only thing a Negro or Moor can do is make you a Freemason. I teach you the science, and I'm a tribal leader, and we have the right under our religious rights. You should want to be under a tribe. You should want to. I'm telling you. And it's very simple. And I already established that the fez represents the womb, right? So if the fez represents the womb, and I told you that the 4 sets of the breathe holes on top of this fez count up to or spell out the what? The numerologically, the sacred number of 9 plus 4 equals 13. I'm going to show you in the supreme mathematics before we close. We got time. The sacred number of 9 plus 4 equals 13. The cycle of the moon and the cycle of the woman in harmony with the moon. So when I show you all the white fez, it represents the moon and the gold tassel of the sun and the 360 degrees of knowledge aspiring to upon the earth plane. And that ball, just like this ball, but on the white fez, the tassel is gold and the ball is gold. The moon and the gold tassel, the sun and the 360 degrees of knowledge aspiring to upon the earth plane. This ball of mud. Thus the white fez represents purity, symbolic of our empress's womb. The Moabite nation flag, the matriarch, is white with a gold crescent and star. The crescent represents the mother and child, the masu, the mother cradling a child. More specifically, the mother and son, as she can easily duplicate herself. But to transform a female egg into a male specimen is the miracle. That she has created the miracle son, the prodigal son, from her what? From her womb. You damn right, sis. Absolutely, as Bailey said, absolutely. And when pondering upon the DAR, which is the acronym for Daughters of American Revolution, we find that they began charters far back as 1890s. See? Here in the North Gate, Northwest of Mexico, Northwest Africa, the heartland of the temple of the sun and the moon. The Moorish nation flag is the flag of her sons, with a five-pointed green star, Venus, the mother, in the center. When she became unconscious, the flag of her son was flown. It represents the great bloodshed ensued upon the land, many divisions and tongues, false prophets, and mass destruction, and the likes. This bloodshed was not only in death of the human form of many family, but it represents the flow of the shedding of blood to make up many other nations. The scepter, if you will, family, was passed to her sons while she lay unconscious. Remember, all the sons do the biddings of the mother. It is not the son's fault, as it was she who caused the great destruction, and it will be she who repairs it. Her awakening is, or will be, the great wrath of Allah. That's what you got to understand. That's what the prophet holding in his hand. It's all of our job to stand her up. We don't put the woman on no fucking rock. We are the rock. What was the Daughters of American Revolution against? The establishment was based on the promotion of the historic, of preservation, education, and patriotism. You see, they are directly against the matriarch, which is a Republican form of government here in America. Today, a republic is based in matriarchal principles, not patriarchal. The revolution certainly was not inclusive of the Moorish, the Moabite, the Asiatic, or the so-called African woman. And she still thinks there is a revolution to come, and rightfully so, as it is her revolution that must occur in order for humanity to live on its harmony. See, that's the whole thing when crack came. I mean, if crack is embedded in the women, what the type of baby she gonna have? Crack babies. If you smoke a cigarette, what the baby gonna be addicted to? The damn nicotine. If you eating all that sugar and all that bad shit, what the baby's gonna be addicted to? All that sugary shit, all that damn fake sugar and fake stuff. They're gonna be addicted to it. She must wake up and recognize that she is the mother of the daughters of the American Revolution, and that they are revolting against her sons, of which they, the daughters, were in concubines for. You heard what I said. You know, like them brothers dealing with them different nationalities, not knowing that they having sons. Began using and teaching her daughters to use the science of the number 9, the science of the womb, to invoke the powers and purpose of her womb to bring in the children of great. As that occurrence can only happen, and it relates to her and her womb. Anything other than that will bring in something that is not connected to her or her cause, certainly not in a positive manner. That's why when I tell all these women, they get on that fake Similac or that Nutrimogen, and I say, man, that's the thing that disconnects your child. That breast is the thing. You want that connection. The development of a fetus, a Muslim, in the 7 stages of development upon the waters of her womb, is then cut from the navel, the navel, and becomes a navigating ell upon the seven waters of the continent. The Daughters of American Revolution were well aware of the science of the womb family, and they utilized it in their revolt against their history of their concubines for the Moorish sons. Yes, that's the history, and that's what they revolt against. Come on, it's all in the history books. Even though the sons treated them fairly well, much better than their own sons, as their own sons were placed in isolation in caves of Europe, where they partook in certain things that they did. But we ain't got to go all along with that and talk about that. It's proven when you do studies that unveil the so-called, no disrespect, the European, the Albion woman being traversed down the Barbary coast behind the so-called black men. Many saw that as a form of slavery or capture for the European daughters. When you research, they were white and they were slaves and a Barbary slavery. However, it was the course of events regarding their creation and placement. The intercourse with them brought about blended nations and nationalities. It had nothing to do with traveling down Bering Straits or the Great Diaspora. That didn't happen that way. These Albion, European, Trinidad, whatever you want to call them, Daughters of American Revolution, wanted to be free from their past history and free to create their own reality. And they came a very long way and are very proud of their accomplishments. Utilized the womb and created sons who were endowed with their directions and psyche. They imparted to them in the womb, just like we impart in the womb, with a demeanor to so-called destroy the so-called hate the Moorish sons. And I'm just painting the context. The sons became the members of certain hateful groups. And that's that in a nutshell. Man, when you start researching his history like J. Edgar Hoover, you'll be like, damn, I didn't know this. Because a lot of people didn't know. It's a lot of history and things. When you get connected and you can pull up government files when you don't be knowing who people be telling. When all of them, no disrespect, I love my religious Islam Muslims. When they love Fard Muhammad, but I say, oh, so Fard Muhammad, what with J. Edgar Hoover telling them about the destruction of the Black Messiah? And come on, man, we just be acting all stupid with shit, but we know everything else. We need to have a different view when we see daughters now wanting to be linking back to the Moorish sons. You know, all men do the bidding of the women. Read Malachi chapter 4. Mother and father includes them. They go the way they came, and others will be destroyed by the son. All men do the bidding of the woman. It's the duty. And man will admit that, even if he does it already in reality. We affected by the woman, the time we born, while in the womb being made. If he arrogant, possessive, and insecure, that came from the womb. Much of these things were learned in the first school room, which in the universe, which is the womb. That's why we must have peace within. That's done in the womb. Allah is all law, manifested in the flesh, the arm, the leg, the arm, the head. That's the pentagram. Everyone is a Muslim. And a Muslim is a fetus, muscles, bones, tissues. And if you want to say it in the context, in this, Muslim is the same. In this context, muscles and limbs. And this is why we wear the fezzes with Muslim. That's why they wear it with Muslim, Islam, El Bay, Morocco, amongst other ancient writers upon them. That's why they wear them. It's clear that they are the modern man and we are the ancient man. And that's what it is. There's no hate, there's no slander. I make my mark. I'll tell you who I am from scholarship. And they have no ancient history. The Daughters of American Revolution are the ones who created the Citizenship Manual. You know that? Y'all know what the Citizenship Manual is? They created that. They created the Citizenship Manual. And while the great Statue of Liberty looks on Venus as dedicated in nature, Mother sets the agenda, and the sons play it out, enforce it, protect it, direct it, supervise it. Moabite, Moorish, Asiatic, African sisters It's the no disrespect. I'm giving context. The European, the Albion daughters that have used the science of the womb and want to take your place. It's all about replacement. If not, well, why do they whitewash history? Why all the films I've been showing you have been whitewashing history? You not knowing your history. It's no secret. Not our sons. He only does the bidding. And many wear the womb as a royal crown, except the Moorish woman. When I be hearing goofy ass Negro Moors telling the emperor they can't wear the fez, I said, this ain't no Southern Baptist shit. Oh, so if you ain't gonna say nothing about these European women wearing this motherfucking fez, sitting around out, you see, them Negroes don't got shit to say, but they got so much they always want to tell our empress what to say. Go sit your goofy ass down. You see the European one with their fez only seeking the clandestine, but then you see the emperor with the white fez and the gold tassel, and it represent them. You gonna tell the empress not to wear the fez? Well, I just told you the fez represents the Asiatic woman. These Negroes goofy. Point blank. Your empress wear your crown, wear your white fez with the gold tassel. My empress has got the white fez with the gold tassel. When you see us at our Moorish ball, you gonna see all our empresses with the white fez and the gold tassel. Man, we taking shit back. We give Caesar back his shit. It's your science, and we should act accordingly. And clearly, our empresses and even nobles has been unconscious, and it's time for her to awaken so the great meeting can take place. For those sisters who are in those so-called secret societies, the Eastern Stars, the secret is about you. You are aware of Esther, aren't you? Esther, Estar, Isis, Esteri, Venus, an indication and proof that the universal language is that of cosmology. This is why you are called the Eastern Star. Venus is the Eastern Star. And too many of our sisters have not been previously aware. You may not be an Eastern Star by some goddamn member, and you don't have to be. All you got to do is come home with your brother, with your sheep, with your mapping guy. Come up out of that shallow grave. Come up out of that shallow grave. You don't got to be no member of no Eastern Star. You need to be under this science. But yet you are a star from the East. Venus, the cosmic mother, which rules Libra. That's Ma'at. And preserves the balance of nature with her scales of justice and the sword of truth and retribution. It's time to rise from the ignorance and see you for who you are, and more importantly, for your obligation and responsibility to humanity. And if our empresses do not plant or plan to bring any more royal crowns here, you got to teach our daughters, who are the direct descendants of the founders of civilization. Teach the ancient high science, the culture, the Gnosticism, the cosmology, alchemy, geometry, algebra, numerology, astrology, architecture, mathematics, philosophies. And if you don't know it, come to me. And the science of the womb. That's why when two or more gather, there the teacher is, there the spirit. And everyone else is drawing wealth and knowledge from it and wearing it, the symbol of the womb, atop their head as their royal crown, except the mothers of civilization. You, the Moabite, the Moorish, the Asiatic, the misnomer African woman. That's all I'm saying. I can care less what anybody else doing. What we gonna do? It's the right way and the wrong way. And everything. And as I close, let me show y'all something. We got to get out of this ignorant stuff. We must. This is not an ignorant game. Being stupid gets you locked up. And there's no excuse of not knowing the law in the court of law. People out here getting fraudulently concealed. You know what fraudulently concealed means? So when you look up, when I talk about supreme mathematics, it's knowing how to break everything down. So I'm just going to break down the supreme mathematic, the Ma'at magic, the so-called Eye of Horus, in the Egyptian binary, the fraction. When you break down these symbologies, so when you break down, I'll just show you the nodes that eye pupil, the eyebrow, the ear, the tongue, the hand. All those are senses. The nose is the smell. The eye pupil is sight. The eyebrow is the thought. The ear is hearing. The tongue is taste. The hand is touch. The imponent power, the N or pi. All is science, the Hika value. All is science symbolizes the 6364 equals 0.984 equals 1. All information received via the senses by the human mind. I'll break it down later when I'm talking about the 6 component parts of the Eye of Horus. Represents a body part that was responsible for delivering sensory information to the human brain. Stay with me. The binary eye of the Horus fraction were used as a means to measure volume by ancient Africans. Volume is the amount of space that matter occupies. In modern terms, volume is measured in units of cubic meters and liters. However, the Eye of Horus binary fractions were used to measure volume in units called the Hekat or the Hekit, Hekat or Heqet, where the entire Eye of Horus was one Hekit or one Hekat, and each of the 6 component parts of the Eye of Horus represents a binary fraction of the Hekat. Egyptian fractions were also written using decimal base 10 notations, where the decimal number symbol was placed under the so-called that eye symbol, the symbol to, and then you have 3 like lines under it equals 1 under 3, and then you got that I per se, and then you got 1, 2, 3 lines under, and then under you got 1, 2 more lines, and that equals 1 under 5. The Egyptian decimal fraction were used to measure volume in units called the ro or the ra. See, when I teach this to kids, they be like, why you wasn't my elementary teacher? I would have had all A's. Well, I'm going to have my school real soon. High school, college, all that. Ancient Egyptian mathematics could convert between units of Hekat or Ra by the conversion factors. 1 Hekat equals 320 Ras. 1/2 Hekat equals 160 Ras. 1/4 Hekat equals 80 Ras. 1/8 Hekat equals 40. 16 Hekat equals 20 Ras. 32 Hekat equals 10 Ras. 64 Hekat equals 5 Ras. All my hustlers, I hope you know what I'm talking about. I can break this shit down very, very simple. But I don't want to get too complex. I gotta take baby steps. But my elementary students, man, they love this when I teach it. When I talk about the power of 10. 10, 0 degrees, 10, 1 degrees, 10, 2, 10 to the 3rd, 10 to the 4th, 10 to the 5th, 10 to the 6th. Or infinity. You turn that 8 to the side. Or infinity. Yeah. Also the Hindu, the Arabic decimal powers of 10. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million. Or what? Infinity. Just like when you got the African decimal, the power of 10, the I, and then like the lowercase n, and then like that curly Q, and then like the Pac-Man up top with the arrow down, with the upside down half circle. And then the other like a worm. And then the other one looked like a bird or like a damn some type of animal. And then the other one is the Mayat when she on her knees doing the symbols. We're talking about intellectual tool used for studying, learning, comprehending, molding nature. It makes sense that any numbering system that will be used as fuel to any and all mathematical operations will also be based on nature. That's why numbering system that was originally developed by Africans to study and observe nature was binary, base 2 numbering system. The binary numbering system is one in which only 2 symbols are used to display and signify all quantities. I hope y'all follow me. We almost done. The motivation for using the binary base 2 numbering system can easily be seen by observing the various dual principles that are observed in nature: male and female, sun and moon, light and dark, true and false, right and wrong, left and right, up and down, high and low, on and off, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 lips, 2 arms, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 feet. That's that arm, leg, arm, head, the pros and cons, all that, man, all that. But as I close, I want to show you how the circle and the square is very, very simple to understand. We got to get out the dumb stuff. You got to understand a number system is a systematic and methodological way of indicating quantities, either as written symbols, spoken words, or some other form of communicating. Decimal base 10 numbering system is the most familiar, most commonly used numbering system by most modern people for mathematical operations. Decimal base 10 numbering system uses 10 number systems, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, 0 is nothing but a placeholder to signify all quantities. In the decimal number symbol, the symbol for quantity 9 has the highest value of all single symbols. Any quantity larger than the number 9 is merely a combination of what? The 10 decimal number symbols, right? Think about it. The number of symbols used to indicate a quantity in the decimal base 10 number system depends on what? Powers of 10. See, I break this down for kids. They be like, what? How the hell? For example, quantities of less than 10 to the first power equal what? 10. Only require one symbol. Quantities less than 10 to the second power equals what? 100 requires two symbols. Quantities greater than what? 10 to the second power equals what? 100, but less than 10 to the third equaling what? 100 require three symbols. See how simple that is? And on and so forth. Quantities greater than 0, but less than 1 are expressed as decimal fractions. And quantities less than 0 follow the same rules as quantities greater than 0, but are displayed with a negative sign, right? To indicate what? Polarity. Polarity. When I talk about the 7 Kemetic principles, examples of numbering systems are the binary base 2 numbering system, which uses only 2, the 0 and the 1, to indicate all values. The octal base 8, the numbering system, which uses 8 symbols, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, to indicate all values. And the hexadecimal base 16 number system, which uses 16 symbols, 0 all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then they go to A, B, C, D, E, and F. I teach that in another teaching to indicate all values. So when you have that binary system, the symbol for quantity 1 has the highest single value. In the octal system, the symbol for the quantity 7 has the highest single value. And in the same hexadecimal system, the symbol for the quantity 15, which is F, has the highest single value. It's very simple. Decimal 0 all the way down to 19. Binary, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and then you go to 5 zeros, then the 4 zeros and 1, then the 3 zeros to 10, then the 3 zeros to 11, then the 2 zeros to 100, then the 2 zeros to 101, then the 2 zeros to 110, and 2 zeros, all the way down as it goes up. I have to go down. The octal 0 all the way from 23, the hexadecimal 0 to 13, and the vexamal is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. See, I can teach a kid, they'll love it. You'll love it too. But let me give you all this last part, because I can teach you supreme wisdom all day. Thanks for the donations, whoever gave the donation. I appreciate that too. Yep, it's Cash App $KGB. I appreciate it. But you don't have to give. I want you to come to class and give a donation and learn. But thank you. When I talk about the 9 to the 9th power of 9, when I talk about 9 to the 9th power of 9, the geometric symbol for the quantity 9 in the decimal number system has the same shape as the logarithmic growth spirals. Remember I showed y'all that? Just like the fairs that are found in the sacred geometry of nature, right? It's in the mathematical operation of the building, the growth and creation. That's why the mathematical problem, 9 to the 9th power of 9, when you see 9, then 9, then 9, going above, which inspired the writing of the science. I'm telling you, man, it's very simple. Esoterically, exoterically, the significance to the act of creation, as well as the ancient African concept of engineering called Hika, magic, considering that the symbol for the number 9 in the decimal number system is a logarithmic growth spiral, and the exponentation is the mathematical operation of growth It follows the mathematic expression 9 to the ninth power of 9. It's esoteric mathematics symbolism for growth and creation. I'm talking about the womb. I'm talking about the fairs. Considered the most computing devices at that time of the science. The process of calculating of mathematic expression 9 to the ninth power of 9. It will require someone knowledgeable. So let me break this down a little bit. I gotta find this. I don't want to go too much because okay, I got 10 minutes. You gotta find someone knowledgeable enough to innovate or modify the existing computing devices, or engineer, invent, or create a new computing device in order to be able to exoterically calculate the numeric quantity of the mathematic expression 9 to the ninth power of 9. Because of African binary base 2 numbering system is the foundation upon which all computations in modern computers and electronic devices are built. If you know that. A computer can't do nothing my mind can't do, guarantee you that. Then application of the knowledge of the African binary base 2 numbering system provides the ability to creatively modify the existing framework of modern computers to generate a numerical solution to the mathematical expression 9 to the ninth power of 9. It's very easy. You got to do it by exponentation, by the squaring, and the algorithm that has the applications in the field of cryptography, which is the mathematical study of encoding or hiding and decoding or uncovering information. When I talk about exponentation by squaring, algorithmic provides the ability to break down the mathematic expressions 9 to the ninth power is 9. I have to break that down in another teaching. It's very simple when you catch it, just like any formula. Just like I said, I could teach any kid that say they don't like to learn. Give them 6 months with me. I guarantee you I change them, because no kid is average. If you got a learning disability, we're going to correct that. It's very simple. Let me find this closing part I want to give y'all as I close. Even the so-called Kabbalah numerology. Watch this. The Keter, the wheel or the crown. The Chokmah, the wisdom. The Bina, understanding. The Chisad, the Gilah or the Gelula. The mercy or the loving kindness. All these number systems, all the way to 10. All the way to 10. The zodiac numerology. All of that. But I want to show you this before I leave. I gotta find it. I know it's in here. I know I got it in this book. I just gotta find it because it made me laugh. And somebody was like, Sheik. Even when I talk about the Shishat, like when I talk about the Shishat, and I break that down in the Cannabis Christ, I break it down a whole nother teaching where people clearly don't get an understanding of what it's talking about. It was wisdom, something that gave him wisdom. People don't even understand what she had in her mouth. Written, architecture, astronomy, astrology, building, mathematics, and surveying. The Shishat was the African Egyptian goddess of wisdom. What was her representation? The marijuana leaf. I'll show you in later teachings to be like, damn, that's facts. I'll be like, yeah, I know. When I talk about Mayat, the principle of truth, justice, order, balance, divine wisdom, Mayat brought the universe into order from chaos, right? Represented by the ostrich feather, and were also personified as the goddess wearing a feather. In the underworld, they called the Duat, Egyptian judgment of death. In the halls of Mayat, the heart is weighed against feathers of Mayat on the scales of Mayat as the measure that determined if the soul adhered to the 42 laws of Mayat or the 42 negative confessions and would be able to cross over to the afterlife or the hereafter per se, right? You had the Greek deity Nemesis, you had the Greek deity Themis, you had the Greek deity Prometheus, the Greek deity Hermes. I'm telling you. Y'all listen to me. Just as it has been shown that the word mathematics comes from the African deity Tahuti, it can be shown that the word number, which is essential to mathematics, comes from Tahuti's wife, the African goddess Mayat. Watch this. The etymology of the word number is from the Greek word Nimin or Nimin, Nemein, meaning to divide, to distribute, allot, or deal out. The Greek word nemein is the root of the word nemesis. Nemesis is a Greek goddess who distributes or deals out reputed judgment, vengeance, and divine retribution, as a result of disregarding another Greek goddess called Themis, Lady Justice, who was the mother of Prometheus and personification of divine order and law. Both Nemesis and Themis were worshipped by the Greeks in a temple called Rhamnus. The prefix RHAM, the Ram or the Ram, and the word Rhamnus comes from the Greek word Ramatha, RHAMATA, meaning words, utterance, or command, and the suffix, the NOUS, the nos, in the Greek word Rhamnus comes from the Greek word nous, meaning mind or intellect. The relationship between nous, when we talk about the gnosis, the mind, the intellect, divine utterance, and mayat, will be illuminated if you come to class. If you come to class, you will get all of it. Remember when you talk about the biblical story of the Greek story, were molded after the African stories, which predate them. All the Greek deities, Prometheus, Hermes, in particular, were molded after the African deity, Tahuti. Tahuti, also called Jehuti, Djehuti, Zehuti, or Thoth, was the Egyptian god of wisdom, writing, magic, science, math, measuring time. Tahuti was a lunar deity and often depicted as a man with the head of an ibis, a bird, or a baboon, right? All animal figures are nothing but pious hieroglyphs. In the Egyptian mythology, Tahuti was the husband of Mayat, the Egyptian goddess of truth, justice, order, divine wisdom. Tahuti was responsible for transforming the creative will of Ra, the Egyptian sun god, into action, right? Tahuti was associated with the philosophical concept of the logos, meaning the word, or saying, an action, or work, which is derived from the what? The lego, meaning to count, or to speak. The logos also is used to indicate the logic, or the reason. That's why they call that manifestation the logos. Greek, the reason, to speak, logic. Reason, purpose, the hypothesis for speaking. All of this is to show that the origin of the word mathematics come from the African deity Tahuti. We got to teach our children to be who we are. That's why the Greek word mathema, meaning thought, in the word mathematics, is also related to the word mythos, meaning thought, that can be found in the name of the Greek deity Prometheus, meaning forethought. In Greek mythology family, Prometheus was the son of Themis, Greek deity called the Lady of Justice. Prometheus stole fire from Zeus. Here go to Greek mythology. I'm painting a picture for you, and gave it to humanity. Prometheus is comparable to another character in Greek mythology called who? I told you earlier, Hermes, who was considered the inventor of fire, the messenger of Greek deities, and Greek deity of wisdom, writing, invention. Fire in the Greek mythology story that Hermes invented and Prometheus stole from Zeus to give to humanity is symbolic of knowledge or information, which humanity acquires by thinking and learning. This fire or knowledge could be used in either a constructive or destructive manner. This fire, for all intents and purposes, is mathematics, the human thought process. See? Even when you talk about the principles found in the Prometheus steal the fire, the same story can be found in the Bible. The Genesis story of the serpent, watch, who is equated with what? Lucifer, the light or the torchbearer in the Garden of Eden, who conceived Adam and Eve to eat from the tree of knowledge, which God attempted to keep from humanity. Another story which parallels that Prometheus story about humanity's acquisition of fire knowledge is the story of Obasi Uswa amongst the Efik people in Nigeria, in Africa. And according to the Ikoi story, Obasi Aswa, also spelled Abassi, the sky god and the creator deity, chose not to give fire to the first humans he created. One day, a young boy was able to steal fire from Obasi Uswa and bring it back to humanity. That's that story as well. But as we close, Morris, as we close, consider this: the ancient mathematical problem. Let me get some tea, so you don't get caught up with these goofballs with feathers on. That's all want to be old ass rappers and goofballs. You got to consider the ancient mathematical problem of squaring the circle. When I heard Amor call himself a grand sheik, that's stupid. That's just like squaring a circle. Well, okay, you got a fez on. It can be a dunce hat. Let me show you. Squaring the circle is the process of trying to construct a square that has the same area as a circle using only a compass and a straight edge. Mathematics represents the objective, the finite, the operative, the exoteric, the quantification, the science, while numerology represents the subjective, the infinite, the speculative, the esoteric, the quantification science. The principles of the field of mathematics could be represented by the geometric symbol of the square, and the principles of the field of numerology could be represented by the geometric symbol of the circle. Esoterically, in the field of numerology, the process of squaring the circle is a metaphor for attempting to make the infinite become finite and make the unknown become known, making mathematics equivalent to numerology. For example, esoterically, in the field of mathematics, the geometric problem of squaring the circle does not have a theoretical solution, but the theoretical solution is considered impossible to apply or construct using a compass and a straight edge tool, because the equation for the area of a circle contains the infinite, the transcendental, the constant number, the pi. When you talk about n equals 3.1459, so when we talk about mathematics or mathematically, while squares and circles are both equal in degree, with both shapes having a total of 360 degrees each, they are different in the formulas of perimeter, circumference. They differ in a circumference. Like if you get a circle cup and a square cup, you can put the same shit in both. I hope y'all caught that. Let me say it again. Mathematically, while squares and circles are both equal in degrees, with both shapes having a total of 360 degrees each, they are different in the formulas for perimeter, circumference, and area. Circumference and area, alike or different, alike and equal in degree, but different and unequal in area and parameter. Man, one of my high school students did this for his senior, what they call a dissertation, blew the teacher's mind. He go to GCU right now. Scholar. I tutor. I love seeing young men become successful in life. Supreme mathematics, alike or different, alike and equal in degree, but different and unequal in area and parameter. So I just want to draw a circle and just get in your mental. Here go the circle. Check this out. Here go the circle, right? Boom. I put one line down that bad boy. Boom. Then I put a line down in the middle. Boom. So it's in 4 pieces. And then I put in that middle, I put a circle in that middle. So it's a little circle in that middle, like a little circle. And now you got, and it's in 4 parts. It should be, you can put 90 on one, you can put 90 on the other, 90 on the other, 90 on the other. Total degrees equal 360 degrees, right? Per meter or perimeter equals n, diameter, area equals n, radius 2. Now watch the square. Here go the square, boom, boom, boom. 90, 90, 90, 90. Total degrees equals what? 360. Parameter equals 4. Length area equals 2. Now here go, just imagine the square. Here go the square, boom, boom, boom. And then imagine a circle. So when I put that circle in the square in a circle, you're gonna see I'm gonna have 2 edges on each side of that circle, equal the same parameter on the edges. Right on the edges, it's gonna be boom, 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 boom. So if we go this way, diagonal, you're gonna do, that's pi, right? That's pi. And then in the middle, when you go down this diagonal, the arrow is going to point at that circle. That radius equals 1. I'll tell you, the theoretical solution to the problem is to construct at the circle with a radius that equals 1, diameter equals 2, and a square with the length that equals what? Squared the pi per se. 1.77245, where the area of the circle and the square will both be pi. Or you like what the kids like to call it, the n in parentheses. And the closest whole number approximation that yields a circle and a square with similar areas is a circle with a diameter of what? 9. Radius equals 4.5, and a square with the length equals 8, where the area of the circle will be approximately 63.6, and the area of the square will be 64. Do it with your science. Do it with your kids. You'll be like, he 100% right. I know. That's why we got to convey knowledge and information that is usable, able to be used, applicable, able to be applied. That's why, metaphorically, the square, the circle, or to take the usable and the applicable components of both mathematics and numerology, since both of the fields are African in origin. The field of mathematics, called applied mathematics, is emphasized due to it being readily practical, applicable, and usable. It is through mathematics in conjunction with the science that potential Africans, Moors, whatever you want to call yourself, that creation energy can be transformed into kinetic or active, creative energy for the purpose of achieving the goal of creating everything needed for the survival and well-being of you, of your family, and the people around you. So that's what I wanted to share with y'all, man. Mathematics is the origin. Objects, concepts. We must solve the problem. Truth and order. So as I close, man, I give y'all love for tuning in to our little nighttime bill. I give y'all gratitude. But like, I challenge y'all to get Stolen Legacy from me. I'm telling you, I got a full library. Check out mypdfbooks.com. But when I be doing these lectures that's showing y'all about books, when I pop on here, you can get everything from me. You don't have to wait around. I love y'all, man, and peace.